Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of great millstone that rule well. Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel. And shalom unto the rest of the elect destined to be saved. I'm the brother Caleb from the GMS England London Forecasters Camp, back with another lesson to help edify the Lord's elect. I always like to begin by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites. And the real Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, West Africans predominantly. But you will find Israelites that do look like the other nations, because we as a people have been scattered among all the nations to our various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, no matter what you may look like, because Numbers chapter 1 and 18th verse tells you that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So I just want to do a quick lesson talking about some of the current events in terms of prophecy that have broken out. So I believe, was it on Saturday night to Sunday morning, at least over here, UK time, attacks have broken out in the land of Israel. It says, this is from The Guardian, civilians and soldiers held hostage in Gaza, says Israel as it happened. It says, Israel-Hamas war live updates. Gaza hideouts will be turned to rubble, Netanyahu says, after attack by Palestinian armed groups. Here's what we know so far, day 2. It says, this isn't a very linear article. Let's read this one. Here we go. Here's a summary of what we know so far as the Israeli military response to attacks by Hamas enters day 2. It says at least 250 Israelis have died in Hamas attacks. Israeli officials have said more than 1,590 Israelis have been wounded. Israel's health ministry says at least 230 Palestinians have been killed and 1,610 wounded in Gaza by Israeli retaliation after the Hamas attack. So these fake people, the JOOSs, are claiming they're at war. Now, the purpose of this lesson is to demonstrate that the prophecies prove who these people are, who the real people are and who the real people are not. And the real people are not dwelling in that land at the moment. You've got two sets of heathens fighting over that land, which isn't theirs, it's ours. Because the scriptures say that when we return to the land, the true Israelites, when we return to the land, the nations are not going to learn of war anymore. So if the true people were in the land right now, no wars should be breaking out at all. So that's the proof that the prophecy doesn't fit those people. Now I'm going to bring out some scriptures in a minute. Let me just finish reading some of this article and then I'll get them. It says, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the country is embarking on a long and difficult war. See, there can't be no war if the true Israelites are in that land. So that proves they're not. It says the country is embarking on a long and difficult war. And this actually ties into another prophecy where it says the least of the flock will draw them out. So although they don't fit the prophecy of being the true Israelites, they do fulfill the prophecy of being the least of the flock to draw all these other nations into a World War III eventually. The country is embarking on a long and difficult war, and at the first stage would be over in the coming hours. Israeli civilians and soldiers are held hostage in Gaza. A spokesperson for the Israeli Defense Forces confirmed. The spokesperson declined to specify the number of hostages. The US President Joe Biden issued a staunch condemnation of the attacks by Hamas against Israel, saying that saying in an address on Saturday, "The United States stands with Israel." There you go. This is heating up World War III, all biblical prophecy. He issued a statement earlier calling the attacks horrific and an appalling assault. Hamas militants entered Israeli territory in the early hours of Saturday morning, appearing to take control of various communities in the south of the country. Fighting is still going on in some areas. Hamas fired thousands of rockets towards Israel. I wonder who supplied them with those rockets. Hint, hint. Hamas fired thousands of rockets towards Israel, according to the Israeli authorities. The Hamas military commander Mohammed Deif said 5,000 had been fired, but Israeli military spokesperson says 2,500 had been fired. Israel has launched retaliatory airstrikes, sending the area's already crumbling medical infrastructure into chaos. Netanyahu has offered a unity government after declaring a state of war. The move would bring Netanyahu and the opposition Yesh Atid leader Yair Lapid together during the national emergency. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas told U.S. Secretary, told U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken that injustice towards Palestinians is driving the conflict with Israel to an explosion. Palestinian news agency WAFA reported. The agency also reported that Abbas received a phone call from French counterpart Emmanuel Macron, in which Abbas emphasized that the current escalation in the region is a result of political impasse and a denial of the Palestinian people's legitimate right to self-determination. The UN Security Council is due to meet on Sunday. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned the attack by Hamas and urged all diplomatic efforts to avoid a wider conflagration. UN spokesperson Stephanie Dujarric said in a statement. Right, so I'd like to give, and there's a lot more points here, but the point is that Benjamin, not a real JOO, says we are embarking on a long and difficult war. Well, scriptures quite cleanly cut that. Let me get them. Give me a second, I'll pull these up.